Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name's Karen and this is Karen Sews Slowly. I do hope you like what you're seeing. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. That would be really kind of you. I have gained about 33 subscribers since I last uploaded a video, and I'm so chuffed. So thank you to everybody who's just subscribed. That's really great. So I've now passed me 2.5 subscribers and I'm on my way to 2.6. So 2.5k. I've got 2.5. I don't know which 0.5 of a subscriber I would get. Never mind. I digress as usual. Thank you very much for subscribing is what I'm trying to say. I've got a mixed bag again for you. This is going to be a very quick vlog because there's not a lot of sewing going on. I have made a top, and it was this top, and we'll do this first. In the meantime, look at this lovely thing here, and I'm going to talk about that a bit later. So when I get onto that, if you're not interested, you can skip it. But this is the top I've made. It is Tesuti 8925, and it was that view there that I made, this one here, and there's a little bit of note, there's a note here. The only thing I noticed with this pattern was the back was nearly, well, I've put 2 inches longer. It was more like 3 inches longer than the front, and I sized the 2 pattern pieces together, and because it's a wrap, the front sort of swerves up and the back goes straight along, I think. So yes, it is going to be longer on the back because you bring the front round. You're gonna need more material. But no, it was ridiculously long at the back. And I also sort of tested the side seam from sort of under the arm. I matched under the arm, because you couldn't match the 2 sides of the sleeve because they didn't equal each other. So obviously there was a bit of a dropped shoulder or something going on there. And when I matched the curve of the underarm in, because it was a grown on sleeve, all in to the pattern, like put the 2 pattern pieces together and matched that curve, it didn't even match up. It was like, and I know it's fabric, so it's not going to be like paper, it's not going to be exact, but yeah, it was about 2 or 3 inches longer on the back. So I ended up cutting, well, a good nearly 2 inches off the bottom of the back of the pattern, just so I could hem it and get a decent even hem all the way around. And anyway, I'll shut up and I'll show you the pattern, shall I? Because that's what you're interested in, the pattern, the actual garment, because that's what you're interested in. I've got her on Vera because, yeah, I'm so cold in this house at the minute. I've put the heating on because hubby's at sea houses. I'm so cold. I wanted to put a jumper on, but I couldn't really find a jumpery top that I'd made. So I'll bring her in here and I'll give you a bit of a turn. Oh dear. Hey. There we are. If I take it back a bit, that's it. And I'll bring her back a bit. So yeah, I mean the fronts don't sort of meet because this is sort of wrapped round, and you've got this tie belt which goes through a little thing at the side. Now I've had to fix this. I don't know what anybody thinks about this. I had to put, can you see that, a bit of like bias binding, because all the way through it just said serge overlock the seams, finish the seams or overlock. You could use the zigzag stitch, and I can't get the zigzag stitch right on my new machine. I'm gonna have to practice that, but I was getting some weird looking stitches coming out. So I thought, well, it says it can be sewn on an overlocker and completely, so that's what I'll do. I'll sew it on the overlocker. So I obviously did the side seams, like round the sleeve and the side seams on the overlocker, but I just put the 2 side seams together But obviously where that little opening is on the side to put the tie through, you've got to fold the seams out and stitch a square. So I'm not going to show you the, well, I will show you the inside. Absolute mess, complete mess. It's a good job it looks all right from the front. Oh, I mean, there's threads hanging and everything. I haven't even trimmed the threads. Let's see if I can get you and pick you up. Ooh. And then bring you around. So, let's see. Oh. So I'm hoping you're going to be able to see that. So I had very little fabric to play with here. And that's why I ended up sort of reinforcing the outside. I could have reinforced the centre, but then I didn't know quite what to do with the little scabby bits of fabric that I had. And you can see I've gone round twice. The first time I just had too much fabric on this side, sort of sticking up. I needed to be nearer to the edge, so I went round twice. Anyway, that's what it looks like now. And because this dark green is very much like, I think that is a dark green. I don't think it's a black. Probably lying, it's probably black. Yeah, I'll have a look at that and I'll see what it looks like. Anyway, I'm still showing you the top, so let's go back to the top. So it's a wrap top. It's grown on sleeve, great big long sleeves, and in this wacky fabric which I got from Pound Fabrics, which was really, really cheap. It is a jersey, it is a stretch, not very much, but yeah, I sort of did it as a wearable toile anyway. I finished the seams with bias binding. There's facing all the way down here, which you interface, and I'm quite pleased at how that lies when I've got it on. It does lie flat. As with all wraps, I think I'm going to need to secure it here so we don't, you know, display our wares in the pub. But yeah, I'm quite happy with it, and it's actually quite an easy sew, and it's a, you know, simplicity. All the big four patterns are very sparse with their instructions. In that packet you get the dress, the top, the skirt and the trousers, and there are literally the same amount of instructions for what you would get for like a dress pattern. There's not a page for the skirt and a page for the trousers. It's all like for all views, finish the hem, for all. So yeah, the instructions are sparse, but to be honest, I followed them. And if I can follow a pattern and get something that is wearable and half decent, like I say, the only thing is I wasn't really paying attention when I did the side bit, and it didn't sort of say serge your seams separately, overlock your seams separately, so that you can open them out, because you're going to need to stitch the opening, which it should probably do. It doesn't say whether it's beginner or not. It's probably not a beginner pattern then, but I just feel that if anybody was doing that, well, I mean, I did it and I'm not a beginner. I don't consider myself a beginner now. I've been sewing for quite a few years, but why didn't it just say in the instructions, you know, you've probably been serging your seams together all the way through this, but don't do this time because you're going to need to stitch a hole. It said sew to the dot, which I sort of saw that at the last minute, and I'd already started stitching the seam, so I was already on my way in with it. You know, you can't back tack obviously with a overlocker, so it was just, yeah, I was on a hide to nothing straight away, and I did think about cutting the whole seam and making it a bit smaller and things, but by this time I'd bias bound the sleeves, and I thought, I'm not putting myself through unpicking that lot, not for a wearable toile anyway. So I think I've fixed it. I think it'll be fine, and I'm not going to do any more to it. But let me know what you think of the fabric, because I thought, oh, that'll make a nice top when I saw it. And after telling everybody I don't like green and I don't wear green, then I found that fabric and thought, yeah, well, I bought that. I think it's just got a bit of a 70s vibe, and I think the pattern is that top's a bit of a 70s vibe. I remember having like a kimono style top back in the 70s. I think it was like a jumper thing, but I quite like it. I don't know how I'll feel about wearing it when I go out. I might feel a bit like, whoa, what's she got on? But I did think it would go nice with a pair of white trousers, and or black or jeans or whatever. So yeah, quite happy with that, and like I say, this actually, it's riding up on Vera a bit because she's felty, so it's sticking to her a bit, but it does lie flat on me, and I'll try and get a picture uploaded onto Instagram at some point. And yeah, so that was my successful make for this last couple of weeks. Like I say, simple pattern, and I think it would probably only take an hour and a half from beginning to end to sew, to actually do the sewing, you know, put it together. But I've done it in stages. I've done 10 minutes here, I've done 5 minutes there, I've unpicked for 2 hours, it took me a good hour and a half to sort of get that sorted so it looked half decent. If I hadn't had to unpick the bits I did, and I hadn't had to do all that, and I've read the instructions properly and realised that's what I had to do, then I reckon an hour to an hour and a half, probably quicker for somebody who sews faster than me. But well, I can recommend it as a pattern. I haven't obviously made the other items in the pattern. I haven't made the skirt or the trousers. I'm going to give them a go. I think definitely the trousers. And I do quite like the dress, but the dress is very like the add-on pattern that I've just bought for the Zadie jumpsuit, to turn it into a dress. So I'll just have a look at the line. That's the dress there in sort of real life, and that's the back. And I think that's going to look, I think that is going to be very like the Zadie jumpsuit with the shorter grown on sleeve. It won't be as kimono-y. It won't be as wide as that. Yeah, I think that'll be a bit like the Zadie dress. So that's that. What am I wearing? I am wearing the Athina top by Tesuti Fabrics, and it's just a boxy oversized top, and I don't wear it much. I love it. It's just a bit too cold to wear in the house at the minute. It's very, very boxy, and I probably need the width here for the width around my hips and my bum, because it comes down to sort of just the top of my legs there. But it's the sleeves. Your grown on sleeve finishes here, and then you have a seam. And I like to pull my sleeves up now, because this is double gauze and it's got a bit give in it. I can pull them up, but then they're sliding down and the driving is mad. So I think what I would do is I would just finish the sleeve as where the grown on sleeve finishes, which would be about there. And I think if I did a turn up or did a cuff or just turned it up and just had the sleeve there, then that would do me as a top for in the house. I don't really need the long sleeves on it. But yeah, that was a very easy make. I think it was literally, what, 1, 2, 4 bits and a bit for the collar. Yeah, there's some facing on there as well. So I've done that. The next thing is my little Studio Seren Studio. Hang on a second, what is it? Studio Seren. I've got it right in front of me. My Studio Seren mouse that I was making. I'm still making it. But I have made a couple of more little bits of outfit, and I've given her a face. God love her. She still does have a beauty spot. Somebody was asking and said, what's happened to her beauty spot? She still does have it, but it's very faint. and I'm not going to tempt fate and try and take it off. And of course she still needs her ears on, so when she gets her ears on she'll look more mouse-like and not like an odd bod with no hair. So she now has a top and trousers. I'm in the process of making her a dress, and then she has her little bloomers to go underneath her dress, and I think there's a couple more things as well. I want to make a few little outfits to put her in before I give her to Polly. But anyway, that's the mouse outfit. I downloaded a pattern from Swim Style Patterns, and that's it there. It's called the Andy set, and I really liked it. The cartoon drawings on here I don't think do it justice. It was just one of these adverts that came up on Instagram or YouTube or something when I was looking at the reels and things. Yeah, I really like that. I would make the top a bit longer because I don't relish the idea of flashing skin. Certainly not that bit of skin anyway. I might do a sleeveless one for me hollywobs, but I don't think I think if you're going to have a top like that where you're showing your midriff, you wouldn't really want great big long sleeves. I think I'll take them 3/4 length, because we all know I don't like massive sleeves and I don't like long sleeves. So I would take them 3/4 length anyway, probably not put the poof on them at the end, and make that longer so that the tie, I could still use this little ruching tie bit in the middle, but it would sort of come to here and you wouldn't see any flesh, as it were. Yeah, I don't think the world's ready for that. Definitely not. So that was a pattern that I downloaded from the Swim Style website. Printed it all off yesterday. Didn't print the instructions for the skirt because I think the skirt is very like every other skirt pattern I've got with an elasticated waist. It doesn't look that much difference. That one is more A-line than this one, that one's not, but I'm sure I've got one somewhere that I could cobble it together, because there were 34 pages for the instructions and there were 40 pages. It's 40 pages for to put the pattern bits together. So that's going to be a bit of a chew on, I know it is. I quite like doing it, and probably actually when I get it on this table and I'm doing it at sort of a height where I don't have to be rolling around the lounge floor putting it together, and I don't have to be bending over the table to do it, killing me back, then I probably won't mind it as much. So I've got that job to do at some point before I sew that up. And I've got some lovely double gauze with a little gold spot in it that I would like to make, definitely make the top out of anyway. And we'll see about the trousers. I might make the Sophia trousers or something from Tilly and the Buttons. I might make those to go with the top instead of a skirt. I don't know. Haven't decided, and I'll have changed my mind by next week anyway, won't I? Because that's what I do. Right, just quickly, there was the mouse, there was that. Oh yes, tomorrow is my sewing social up at Tesco's near where I live, and I completely forgot it because of Easter being next weekend. It's a week early, and I knew in my head it was the 24th, but I just didn't think tomorrow was the 24th. I don't know why, anyway. But I watched Alison's latest vlog from So Like Dotty yesterday, and thankfully she mentioned it and said, oh, I've got a good weekend planned. I'm doing this, this and this, and I've got my sewing social on Sunday. And I thought, oh, it's Sunday. So I'm so pleased, but I have taken this woman to the sewing social the last 2 times. So this afternoon I am going to cut out something else to sew. Haven't a clue what yet, and it'll probably take me all day to decide, but I've got to do something else other than sew that mouse or sew mouse clothes at this sewing social, because literally all I got sewed in 4 hours was that one pair of bloomers the last time. So I'm determined I'm going to take an actual item of clothing. I do fancy making the Zadie dress that I talked about earlier, and I do fancy, well, I've got two choices. I think I've got two choices. I've never made the Zadie jumpsuit. It's always been viscose that I've used. I've never made it out of a jersey, but I know people that have. So that is a jersey material. It's very thin. I could wear it, you know, it would do spring, possibly not summer, but it's very thin. It's very, very soft. I'm not sure how much I've got of it, so that might determine whether I use that or not. I think there's quite a bit there. It's quite weighty, so I think there might be 4 meters of it, to be fair, and there's definitely 5 meters of this, because this was the lovely fabric that was only £2 a meter from Pound Fabrics. £2 a meter, yeah, I think it was only £2 a meter, and I've shown you that before. But that is very much a summer fabric. It's it's a poly viscose, I think. It's very slippy. I think it'll be an absolute monkey to do the binding out of that for the Zadie dress or the Zadie jumpsuit. I'm not even sure if the Zadie dress has the binding on like the jumpsuit does. I haven't really looked at the pattern that much, but if it has, that might be a bit naughty to sew with. So that's my two choices, and that's what I'm thinking I might do. And because I've made the Zadie 3 times before, I sort of know what I'm doing. Now I'm going to talk about these. Please feel free to go elsewhere. This is from a company called Rose Forever. They're based in New York, and I was approached last year and got sent this lovely thing. Excuse the dust on the bottom. They've been by my telly for the last 8 or 9 months. And these actually do smell rose scented. They do smell it. They're preserved flowers. You can see them better. I'm showing you those because you can see them better than these ones, because these don't have a colour. These aren't scented. Now, it might well be that I picked the ones that weren't scented, but I got them in a clear box this time, and I didn't realise when I did it, but it actually has a drawer in the bottom. So I'm thinking I might use that to store the bits of jewellery, like things that I wear every day, just to put in the bottom of there. I think that would look rather nice. I'm dying to put it somewhere. It's been in the box since I got it last week, but yeah, so this is a company, Rose Forever, and they said just to have it displayed during my vlog. I didn't have to talk about it, but I do think they're really, really nice. And if you like flowers, but you've got a hubby who complains every time there's flowers on the go that his hay fever's kicking off and they're making him sneeze and he's sniffing constantly. Yeah, it's probably better if you got something like this. The care instructions just say, please don't water the roses or treat them with any other care products. Avoid touching the petals, as that could affect their lifespan. Keep them away from direct sunlight. If dust collects after a few months, you can simply brush it away with a soft brush to gently brush off the dust. Well, to be honest, I haven't noticed dust on those pink ones. There is dust on the bottom where it's been sitting next to me telly, obviously. And I think they've done all right. They're starting to sort of, that's obviously where it's been knocked a little bit. But essentially, yeah, they still smell quite nice after about 10 months. These don't smell, like I say, but they do have it's a bit like Copydex glue, if anybody remembers that from school. Yeah, they've got a weird smell. But there's a lid that goes with them. I'm not sure if you're meant to take that thing off the top or not. Could do. But I think I'll use that one in the bedroom as a bit of a jewellery box for my everyday bits and pieces. So that's the end of this vlog, and I just want to thank you all for your comments in the last few vlogs that I've put up. Thank you to all my new subscribers again. If there's anybody out there who, if you watch me regularly but you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I'm heading from me 2.5k subscribers now. I'm heading for the big 3. I want so that's my next goal. But yes, thank you for subscribing if you already do, and I hope to be here next week showing you what I've achieved at the Sewing Social tomorrow. Not off looking forward to it, seeing all the girls again. We'll have a really good laugh. So take care and happy sewing everybody. Bye now.